Welcome to the Create Happy Now podcast launch today. I have 10 awesome and inspiring guests throughout the day. These are 10 introductory episodes, with each guest giving their secret sauce for starting a journey on mastering happiness, with their full interview episode airing within the next few weeks. First up, we have Lynn, who is a freedom facilitator. Rainey and I go back over 10 years when we both started on our journey, and 5 years ago, she invited me to an Essence of Being workshop founded by Burge Smith-Lyons, who is also one of my VIP guests today. Rainey is full of love and laughter and just someone you want to hang out with and someone who has your back. Listen in on how Rainey helps people break through their fears by getting clear, and how you can get a free clarity session from Rainey. Welcome to the Create Happy Now podcast, dedicated to helping you start your journey to discover true happiness. Join me, your host, Susan Blanton, weekly as we explore the transformation stories and words of wisdom from our masters of happiness, with tips you can start applying today to create happy now. I have with me today Lynn. Rainey is a freedom facilitator. She supports people in designing experiences to help break free from fear and step into love. Hey, Rainey. So tell us a little bit more about you.
Awesome. Hey, Susan, thanks so much for having me. I have spent the last 10 years in the world of personal development, learning how to break free from my own fear. And through that experience, I've learned that the recipe for me has been clarity, courage, and commitment. And so, what I do is I help people design experiences to help them break free from fear and tap into that love space and be able to live the life that they truly deserve.
Ooh, I want some of that.
Freedom, baby.
Freedom. So tell us what your secret sauce is to living a life of happiness, mastering happiness, and starting your journey to living the life of abundance, ease, and grace.
I think it really starts with authenticity, meaning being allowing ourselves or giving ourselves the permission to be truly authentic, and also to tap into a place of trust. And I don't mean trust just it may be in other people, because that's hard for some people, but trusting in ourselves, trusting in source, our higher power, God, universe, whatever it may be for you. But when you fully do allow yourself to just surrender and be in that place of trust, and trusting that everything that is happening is for your best and highest good, even if it doesn't look like it, even if you don't know how or why, things begin to work and flow so much easier.
It is. And so tell us a little a bit more about like how you design experiences to help with that process.
I've noticed that most of the time, at least for me, so I'll use myself for an example. During my journey, my friend would always say to me, my best friend Rich, he said, you spend so much time being confused, but once you get clear and you realize exactly what it is you want, boom, you are on it, you manifest it, it comes. He said, but you spend so much time circling, being, oh, I'm not sure, self-doubting, should I do that, should I do this? And so really getting clear was one of my biggest blocks to being able to experience that freedom in my life. And for most of us, we already know what we don't want.
Yeah.
And we don't take enough time to look at that, because what
Right.
we want is the exact opposite. It's that simple and that hard all at the same time. So I really, when I work with people, I love to start off with a clarity coaching session. We sit down and say, okay, where are you stuck in your life? Are you wanting to move through in business? Are you wanting to move through in your personal relationships? Where are you stuck? And we take an inventory of what's not working. What don't you like? What are those things? And then I help them get to the opposite side. Okay, so now we're getting really clear about, what do we want our relationships to look like? How do we want to feel in the job that we're working? What kind of people do we want to attract in our lives? And then I really like to hone in on one area and find something that they've been afraid to do. For a lot of people, it can be picking up the phone call and making a telephone call. It can be going out and doing that interview for the big job that they want, or putting themselves out online at a dating website, and just not
Mm.
sure what to say or how to do it. But being a freedom facilitator for me is being able to hold space and be there with somebody in that place of fear so that they know that somebody has their back and they can move through it. So, I've done things like, been on sales calls with people while we're chatting and instant messaging, like really, helping them fly through that experience and just not having to do it alone, because ultimately I think that's what freezes a lot of us is we feel stuck, we feel overwhelmed, we're alone. Fear freezes us. It puts us either in a fight, flight, or freeze. And for me, it was freeze. I would freeze and I would hide. And I'd missed out on so many opportunities and really gave people the wrong impression about me because I'm really a great, trustworthy girl who always wants to follow through. But I would get stuck in fear. And when I say stuck, paralyzed, like can't move, can't do it, knew I should do it, was totally aware because I've been doing the work now, but I would still be stuck. I would literally not move physically, like it would physically freeze me. So
One
I
thing
think,
that helped me go, well, what's the worst thing that could happen?
yep. Yep, we went and did a mastery course with Essence of Being, one of the workshops that I facilitate, and it was kind of my real grounding, my base learning for all these personal development things. And we went and did a mastery program up in the North Georgia mountains, and we walk on fire. And he talks about that. Chick, the guy who does our fire walk, says, when you look at fear, it's like, what is the worst that can happen? But a lot of times, just people just feel so alone. And when they feel like they have somebody that's got their back, that's helping them through it, who they can call and say, hey, I'm about to do this thing. What do I do? What do I say again? How do I do it? Okay, you're going to be there. I'm going to call you when it's done. Just having that person, knowing somebody's got your back, and it gives you the next C, which is courage, the
Yes.
courage to face whatever it is that's holding you back. And whether it's a small step or a huge step, each step builds that confidence and gets you to see that that fear is just false evidence appearing real. But the other place of courage that I like to talk about too, which people really don't want to hear, is you got to be courageous enough to feel your feelings. Because
Yeah.
most of the time, whatever we're afraid of or whatever we're hiding, there's some feelings that we haven't dealt with, some past traumas, hurts, whatever it is that we've not allowed ourselves to process. And those feelings get stuck in our body. They cause disease. They're not good for us. And so people are always afraid of that. I don't want to feel my feelings and I don't want our emotions to take control. And we have to think logically. But our feelings are our guidance system. That's our intuition. That's how we, tap into that divine guidance, which sometimes data doesn't matter. Sometimes data, you can have all the data in the world, but you get an intuition and a hit and you follow that hit, and that's where you needed to go. And it was something you would have never thought of. But if we're stuck in our feelings and we're not processing it, we're not feeling them, then a lot of times we're missing out on that connection. We're missing out on that guidance that we could be getting.
Well, until you have that own inner guidance, it's really important to seek a mentor or someone you admire to help you with those moves and insecurities and someone to be in your corner cheering you on. It's kind of like that movie Hitch with Will Smith. Remember,
Yeah.
like he's like talking in
Yeah.
his ear, telling him what to say.
Exactly. Yeah, I've done that with people on different sales calls. So I've had a couple people I've worked with who had a block to picking up the phone and making sales calls. They have this great dream, this great passion. They got to eat. So they're going to have to pick up the phone. And so we had instant messenger chat going back and forth while I'm listening to the call, like undercover. And I mean, that's what to me, that's what a freedom facilitator is that person who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to check in with you before, check in with you after, maybe even go fly the mission with you, whatever it takes. But I wanted to really create in our Facebook group, it's just a bunch of people who are willing to face their fears, take a conscious action from a place of love to break free, and then to hold each other accountable and help each other out. Because what's more fun than cheering each other on, seeing people break through their greatest fears?
And then say, I did it.
Right, exactly,
That
exactly.
took that
And
first
then you
step.
get to help somebody else. That chain reaction, because once we get out of our own head and we start focusing on helping other people, our stuff tends to just fall into place.
Yes,
There's been a lot of times where I've
absolutely.
been stuck and somebody, I went out and helped somebody else. And literally through helping them, I got the answer to whatever it was that I was stuck
Hmm.
on myself.
Funny
Right.
how that works. So,
I
so,
know.
so tell people how they can find you, and what do you have anything that you can offer for listening in today?
You can go to experienceyourfreedom.com, experienceyourfreedom.com, and you can join our Facebook group. We're just kind of getting it going, so we'd love to have you join. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, you can put in your name and email address and get a free 30-minute clarity coaching session with me. So this
Excellent.
way we can kind of sit down and say, okay, where are you stuck? Where do you need a breakthrough? What do we need to do? And get you on your way
Today.
today. Don't wait anymore. I have lost years of my
Yes.
life and opportunities and relationships. I was afraid I wasn't enough. I was afraid I didn't deserve it. And so I
Absolutely.
don't want anyone else to miss out on any good things anymore.
That that's why you should create happy now, right?
Amen to that.
Well, thank you
Happy
so
and
much.
freedom go together,
Right, right, yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Randy, for joining me, and I can't wait to have you back on this show in just a few weeks.
Awesome. Thanks, Susan.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to episode 2 of the Create Happy Now podcast. If you like this episode, please subscribe, rank, and review, and you can get a free meditation by yours truly by clicking the link in the episode description. On the next episode, you will meet Burge Smith-Lyons, founder of Essence of Geing, where you can learn how to reprogram your bubble talk.